guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. My returning subscribers, thank you very much. I really appreciate all of the likes and the comments. It really does mean a lot to me. And to new viewers, thank you for clicking, and I'm glad that you found me here on YouTube. I do hope that you enjoy the reading today and that the messages will resonate with you. Just keep in mind that these are general readings, so messages may or may not resonate with you. Be sure to check out, in addition to your sun sign, whatever your sun sign might be, also listen to the readings for your moon sign and your rising sign, because sometimes, if one doesn't really resonate, if you listen to all three of them, you will probably get a very good, or a more balanced sort of overview of what is going on or the energy surrounding you during that period. So today's reading, it is a mid-monthly reading for the last 2 weeks of December. So we're looking at the energy surrounding us from December 15th through the end of the month. And for the last 2 weeks, what I'm doing is I'm dividing the reading. So half of the reading is focused on career, finance, jobs, that type of mess, looking at those type of messages coming through. And for that portion of the reading, I will be using the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, and that's by Colette Baron-Reid. And I'm also using some additional Oracle cards this time because I recently acquired a few decks, and so I would like to include them, and I'll probably be using them more in upcoming readings. So I'll be using one card from the Sacred Traveler Oracle card deck, as well as from the Life Purpose Oracle card deck by Doreen Virtue. Okay, and then for the love and relationship and romance portion of the reading, I'll be using the Good Tarot deck by Colette Baron-Reid. And I will be pulling two additional cards, one from the Whispers of Love Oracle card deck, and one card from the Romance Angels deck by Doreen Virtue. So more cards this time. The reading might run a little bit longer, but it's, as it's the last mid-monthly reading for this year, I decided to sort of include a few more cards. If you would like a personal reading, focusing on you, what is going on in your life right now, and it's a good time to do that sort of at the end of the year, beginning of a new year. It's a good time to kind of take a look at what the energies are surrounding you, whether it's in the area of career and finance or love and romance. That would be with a private reading. So if you're interested in that, you can check out my site. There you will find pricing as well as information about the types of readings that I offer. And the site is changingphasestarot.weebly.com. Or you can email me at changingphasestarot@gmail.com. And another thing you might consider, it is the holiday season, whatever that means to you and however you celebrate it. Some people like receiving tarot card readings, right, as a gift. It's something that a lot of people wouldn't necessarily pay to have for them, for themselves. So getting it as a gift, it's a nice surprise. So if you're interested in that, you can also email me and and pay for a reading for somebody else and gift that to them, right, as a holiday gift. So just to keep in mind. But I won't take up any more time talking. I will go ahead and stop this introduction so I can get into the readings for all of the signs. Okay, so thanks again for joining me, and see you in 1 minute for the reading. Hi, Aquarius. Right, I'm here to do your mid-monthly reading, and like I explained in the introduction, I'm doing things a little differently for this mid-monthly. I have already shuffled since I pulled more cards than usual. I decided to, meditate and shuffle the cards and everything off camera and just lay everything out here so I could try to save a little bit of time. Otherwise, I think the video was going to end up being very long. So let's go ahead and get into it. I will start off with the career and finance portion of the reading, okay? So those are the cards here in the back row, but I will hold them up from the Good Tarot deck. So you have, as your first card, Major Arcana, number 11, Justice, okay, followed by another Major Arcana card, number 4, the Emperor, and the last card for this 2-week period, so carrying us through the end of the month of December, the 7 of Water. This is a beautiful card. Let me hold it up so you can see it. Okay. And the card at the bottom of the deck, Major Arcana number 18, the Moon. Okay. So beginning with the overall energy for this last, this 2-week period, right, going from the middle of December through the end of December 2017. For you, Aquarius, we have the Moon. Now, the Moon is a Major Arcana card, so it's this powerful energy. And actually, out of the 4 cards, so the 3 cards plus the one at the bottom of the deck, 3 of the 4 are Major Arcanas. So there seems to be this theme of, lots of divine intervention at this moment, and quite significant things going on that might definitely influence your life in a significant way. So the Moon, this is a card that has to do with hidden information. This is a card that has to do with illusion, not seeing things right clearly or for what they really are. Or not being able to see sort of or understand the workings of spirit, right, in the invisible realm, sort of behind the scenes. Because as we know, the Sun card or the sun shines its light onto situations, right, onto things. So it's easier for us to figure something out in the sunlight, right? We can see things, we can make that that decision based on what is right in front of us. With the moon casts shadows. And so, that's why there's this sort of illusion going on, because yes, we're able to make out things, but everything looks very different, right? In the moonlight. There are shadows. It's not, things might not be exactly as they seem. This card really encourages us to sort of trust in this mystery or what's going on behind the scenes, and kind of keep in mind that what goes on here in the material realm is really, a lot of what goes on here is kind of illusion. So, we do make, sometimes a situation, we tend to get caught up in our thoughts and make things, sort of worse than they are, kind of thing. So just keep in mind that certain conditions or, possibly a situation that might not be necessarily what is really going on. There might be opportunities lying in the shadows. There might be things coming in, but we need to wait for the divine timing, the perfect timing for things to become illuminated, for you to sort of see those things. And we see here on the card, obviously we have the moon, but then we see, there is this sort of divine sprinkling down of stars, right? This positive energy, these new opportunities, but when they're meant to happen in divine timing, okay? And this is also a card that has to do with our intuition, right? It's trusting in our intuition, trusting in the messages that we receive from our higher self, right? From spirit, from the universe. Also paying attention to, as it's the moon that comes out at night, paying attention to dreams, to messages that we might receive in, maybe a little unconventional manner. So through dreams, through signs and synchronicities, right? Because the moon is the card of dreams. It's the card of the subconscious. It's the card of intuition and psychic abilities, right? So pay attention to that. Where the moon doesn't really fully illuminate our path, that's when we need to rely on our instincts, rely on, on the divine sort of intervention aspect of whatever this is, and trust in that, right? Trust in our intuition, trust in the divine timing of it. And there's definitely there's divine intervention, throughout these 4 cards. So with that as the overall energy, the beginning card, the Justice card, so this could be going into, as you enter into the last 2 weeks of the month. Justice card is all about a lot to do with karma, right? And karmic justice and the cause and effect, right? The law of cause and effect. So you might be seeing that play out in your life in some way, right? You might see things, different situations or things in your life balancing out right now. You might see evidence of, what goes around comes around, right? So you're kind of seeing this play out, this karmic justice, this cause and effect play out in the conditions of your world, of what's going on around you. Now, this could be obviously many different things. This could be with the justice, it could have to do with some type of legal, something legal that you've been dealing with the courts, or going through some type of legal proceedings. It could be that. It's a card that does have to do with honesty and fairness and acting as well in an ethical manner. So it has to do with being responsible for our actions, right? And more than anything, it is about about balance, right? And things being in balance. And so if something seems unjust, or if something has seemed unjust in your life, and this could be, with some type of legal situation, or, if this is, we're dealing with, career and finance, it could be in the work, right? In the work arena. So maybe something has happened that you felt that, you were treated unfairly. Things were not done in a just manner. This card just says that, what goes around comes around, okay? And even though certain things may seem unjust, trust in the divine order. Again, this message that there's a divine order to the universe. Things happen not in our time. Our time is an illusion, just like the moon was talking about illusions. Time is a human construct. So maybe we think, oh, well, that person did something and cheated us out of something and seemed to get away with it, and nothing seems to happen to them. Okay, maybe nothing has happened in the time that we think it should happen, but in divine timing, things have a way of, coming back on people. So, sorry, stop my phone. Sorry about that. I thought I had it on silent. Okay, moving on to the Emperor. So again, another major arcana card here, and this the Emperor. This could be, it could be a fire sign male. It's typically associated with Aries. Could be Leo. But the Emperor is a very strong, very powerful figure, right? So this could be a person that you're dealing with. This could be you taking on the energy of the Emperor. But in this deck, it has to do with authority, okay? And sort of needing to follow the rules, and possibly people in authority coming in and, giving you good advice, or coming to your aid, or, you might be dealing with, again, the courts, or you might be dealing with government or banks or schools, any type of sort of large institution like that you might be dealing with. If this is you taking on this energy, then, this typically it's a rigid energy. The Emperor is kind of the archetypical male figure in the tarot, right? So we have the Empress, and then we have the Emperor, and he's very strong. He's very resolved, very protective and structured, right? Can be a little overbearing and authoritative, but it's the patriarch. It's somebody who really wants to protect his domain. He's somebody who he cares for everybody around him. Sometimes it can turn out to be, a little overbearing to those around him, right? In the negative, and sort of the shadow side of the person, that person can sometimes become, almost dictator-like and sort of aggressive when dealing with other people. So there's this fine line there, this balance. And, with the Justice card, we have the balance, right? We see the scales, the balance right here with the truth, sword of truth. So, by balancing, by not being sort of overly protective, you can still be protective and take care of everything, but just don't sort of, there needs to be balance there. So this could be, again, it could be a fire sign individual, possibly an Aries, older male coming in to help you, or you might just be, this could be a lawyer, this could be, somebody that you seek out counsel with, if this has to do with some type of work, a legal situation at work, or something happened at work that you felt was unfair, you were treated unfairly or unjustly. Maybe this person comes in, to give you guidance. Or maybe this person is helping you uncover something about that situation, right? With the moon as the overall energy, for this period, and uncovering things, and so things being revealed at the right time. This person might have something to do with helping you, come to terms with something or find out what it is that you need to find out in order to have this justice, right? Or to feel that you've that things have kind of been things have gone in your favor, or and usually with the Justice card, it does show if you are dealing with that type of situation, legal situation, or dealing with a bank or dealing with the government, it usually goes in your favor. So, that looks positive. Then with the Seven of Water as the outbound energy, that's a very, it's a dreamy card. And so having it here, it might be that, you have, or you've been contemplating many different options for you, right? Maybe if this is to do with your, we're looking at career and finances, maybe you've been weighing up your options, but there have been too many, right? And so that's left you feeling quite confused, and needing to find answers and trying to, it's that type of thing. Because the Seven of Water is the Seven of Cups card. And that's usually the card in the traditional tarot deck. We see, the cups sort of, it's like when you're standing in front of a candy store or a department store, and you see, there are all these beautiful things in front of you, and it's kind of like you want everything. And you look at one cup and you're like, oh, then that one, there's, a beautiful, a beautiful blue dress. And in that one you see, some nice earrings. And that one you see something else that you want. And it's kind of that type of energy where, you look at one and you think that looks great. But then, immediately you're sort of drawn to another one, and then you're not really sure which one you need to go. So it's, it's been caught up in that dreamy type of energy, right? The Seven of Water cards. And when this card appears, because it is a card that has to do with emotions and feelings, and when this card appears, it kind of asks us to, to focus, right? To sort of tune in to possibilities that exist, tune in to, this could be a new job opportunity, this could be a new creative project, but it's really asking you to, yes, most new ideas and new projects do begin in the world of imagination, right? But we need to sort of seize and grab that opportunity and that whatever the thing is in order to manifest it, in order to turn it into something here in the real world, right? And these castles in the sky, these castles in the air that are your fantasy. Maybe you're dreaming about, this could be a new job here, or maybe this is you weighing up, moving house or buying a new car, and you're looking at many different properties here, or you're looking at many different cars and trying to figure out which one is the best for you. The castles in the air, they can become real castles. They can turn into something more tangible, more solid, right? But you need to, more than anything, decide which one you really want, focus on that, and then manifest it, right? If you don't, right, if you don't focus and really put, set our intentions and say, okay, you know what, yes, there are all these great cars out there, but you know, I only have $5,000, and so it doesn't, you know, there's no point me looking at buying a BMW right now. You know, that's not, it looks beautiful, but it's not within, you know, the grasp of my financial sort of situation. So I just need to go, and there's a nice used car, I can buy that. And, you know, it's that type of thing. Focus, put your intentions, set your intentions, and then you'll manifest. But there's something, I'm being drawn back to the Justice card here. With the Justice and the Emperor, and then the Moon. I mean, there's a lot of, I'm getting, you know, divine guidance, divine intervention, divine timing. So maybe what, you know, the Seven of Water, what you're trying to manifest, what you're trying to, you know, what you need to sort of focus on and choose, maybe it just hasn't been the right time. Maybe, you know, something is coming in. Possibly this Emperor might help you figure that out and uncover whatever it is you need to uncover. Maybe you needed to go through this, you know, receive the justice, this karmic justice first in order to get you to the Seven of Water card. But it's definitely important to focus, right? Really set your intentions, focus your intentions on what it is that you're going after, and then act on it, right? Because as long as we stay up in our fantasy world, nothing really manifests here, right? In the real world. Interesting. So the two cards, I pulled two new oracle cards to go along with the career and finance portion. So the first one comes from, I'll show you the box. It's from the Sacred Traveler deck. Okay. And the card is called Transformation. And this card says, a fresh new way of living emerges. Okay. And, you know, you might have been sort of caught up in this old way of thinking, right? Or caught up in an old set of beliefs about life, about who you are, you know. And when this card comes in, it's really, you know, it's a time of great transformation, of great changes. So old things dropping away, them being replaced by new paths, new opportunities, new experiences. So what this card wants you to know, the message, and I'll just read this from the Oracle book for this one. It says, the journey transforms the traveler. When the traveler arrives at the destination, the traveler is no longer the same person who started out. Even if there are some areas that may be murky or unsettled in your life, don't be concerned. This is the confusion that often appears before the rebirth. Like the phoenix that arises majestically from the ashes, a big change in your life is at hand. Don't hold on to old ways of viewing the world and limited ways of thinking. Be willing to see the world with fresh, new eyes. Changes are afoot, and it's also very good. And that's interesting because it really ties in with, right, this murkiness that I was saying about the, you know, the sort of things being cloudy and you not knowing which one to choose. And then that also ties in with the Moon card, which is all about seeing things, you know, from a different point of view, in that you might have to, you know, uncover things in a less traditional manner. But it ultimately, and I was saying how it's very powerful. I mean, I do get the energy off of these, you know, the three major arcana is that this is power. There's something powerful going on here. But in order for that to sort of manifest and come through, you have to really focus on what it is that you want to bring about this new transformation. So there is something coming in, but you just need to focus, right? Focus on it. And then the Strength card. And interesting because usually in the Tarot deck, I know this isn't a Tarot deck. This is comes from the Life Purpose Oracle card deck by Doreen Virtue. But typically in the Tarot deck, the Strength card is represented, right, by the lion, right? And we have the Emperor right here with the lion, and then you have the Strength card. So what this card comes in to say, and what's written on the card here, it says, everything you've experienced in your life has made you strong and courageous. Okay, again, I'll just read you what the card has to say. So it says, You're stronger than you realize, according to this card. Your career dreams require inner resolve and courage. And you've built those qualities from your life lessons. Everything that you've experienced has brought you to this moment. And you are more prepared than ever to start a new project and persevere to complete it. It's human nature to shy away from projects that are perceived to be difficult or that bring up fears of failure. Nevertheless, these projects are calling your name. Whether you're guided to write that book, change careers, return to school, start your own business, or present your artwork to the public, you have the strength to do so. Which path do you think will lead to greater joy? Taking steps in the direction of your dream, even if you're unsure whether the dream is viable or whether you're taking the right steps to achieve it, or endlessly procrastinating. Which path will ultimately be more painful to experience, risking defeat or humiliation by taking action, or playing it safe? So again, this really goes along with the needing to choose, right? But knowing that, you are strong enough to make this choice, to move on. If what you're dealing with here is, if there has been some type of injustice in the work, environment, and you find out some things, you decide that, it's best for me to move on, you're weighing your options. This is just telling you that it's time, right? There is a transformation on the horizon for you, and you're strong enough. You have everything that you need to, to achieve what it is that you're going after, but you just need to figure out which one of these cups, right, is for you. What are you going to choose? So choose it and go with it. That would be the main message here. Okay, so let's move on to the love, romance, relationship portion of the reading. Okay, so again, I will show you the cards because I know you can't see them that well. So we have around the beginning of this, last 2 weeks of December, we have card number 33, Chaos and Conflict. And that's followed by card number 7, To the Sea. Sorry for the glare. And the outbound energy here. Card number 49, Observer. And again, we have a moon here. And the overall energy for this 2-week period is card number 4, Higher Power. This is a beautiful card. Okay, so I'll go over these cards, and then I did pull 2, actually don't want to make you dizzy, but let me move this over, and then you can see the 2, there we go, the 2 oracle cards that go along with this portion of the reading. Okay. So, starting off with the Higher Power card. Okay, so this is, again, the overall energy for this 2-week period. And this is card number 4. And what it has to do with is, like you would imagine, right? It's that connection, that conscious contact connection with the divine, with the higher power, right? Seeing that source energy in everything, right? In all things. And really sort of being in tune with, and that's interesting because the overall message for this part of the reading was the moon, which is also about trusting in your intuition, right? And obviously by trusting in your intuition and tapping into, those messages coming from your higher self, it has to do with this higher power. So there's definitely something that, you might be finding out, or you might need to trust in, some type of message coming through that's really going to unlock some type of situation for you, or that will, kind of be that key to, to whatever it is, to unlocking whatever this is that you might be dealing with or might be struggling with here. So, in thinking about a relationship, or, this, we're trying to look at the bottom row of cards to do with more with relationships and love and romance. It's, it's time to really think about how much effort you put into your relationship, but your relationship with the higher power, right? Whatever you call that higher power, right? spirit, God, goddess, or any other name that might be sacred or holy. And just understand that, at this time during the next 2 weeks, this is going to be very important for you. Okay. That the card also might indicate that there might be a very deep connection between, you and another person, romantically or not, who is very important right now in your growth, in your spiritual growth, in your spiritual evolution. So pay attention again to the messages coming in, anything that you might, receive from spirit. And it's really time to sort of examine, what you're giving out, what you're getting back in, finding that balance. And also, think it has to do with trust, right? And needing to trust in whatever these messages are. So I'm getting, the word trust coming through, as well as keys and keyholes and unlocking. So something to do with unlocking, and so we'll see how, I don't know how that's going to tie in with everything here, but we'll have a look at that. So with the first card, we have Chaos and Conflict. Okay, this is card number 33. And the Chaos and Conflict card has to do with things seeming, very confusing. So maybe coming into the last 2 weeks, you might have had some type of disagreement with another person, right? There might have been some type of tension or some type of, tense situation or opposing forces that you might have been dealing with. So some type of conflict, and it doesn't have to be, a very dramatic conflict, but some type of conflict, which has, brought about, it's made you to feel very confused, right? Like everything is sort of out of order or out of control. But it's more of a time to kind of see everything for what it is, right? Understand things for what they are, but don't necessarily expect that others will, understand you. Maybe you won't be understood, but, that's not important. I think if we go back here to this higher power, what's important is this peace and you being at peace and you understanding sort of yourself, right? And you being at peace with yourself. So if you can kind of look at the situation and see it for what it is, then maybe that will help ease or, help you move through whatever this chaos and conflict is. So in thinking about a relationship as it relates to this card, there might be something to do with stubbornness, right? Not seeing somebody else's point of view, being unwilling to see somebody else's point of view. That incessant need to sort of always be right. It's time to kind of reflect and review maybe some of your values, right? What's really important? Is it really important to always have the last word in a fight, in a relationship? No, it's not. Sometimes, even though it would be easy just to turn around and just say something just to kind of get that last word in, it's not, right? So is there a way for you to to resolve this conflict? What can you do? You can only work on yourself, right? You can never control other people. So by controlling yourself, it does sort of help control this conflict because you're doing your part, right? You can never control the entire situation, control the other person, but you can at least control how you react to it and how, you can control your side of things, so to say. So there might be something going on, right? And I think this card is just really asking you to reflect, right? Reflect on your actions. If you have, been coming up against some type of conflict in a relationship, in order to restore order, right, in your life, in order to restore order in that relationship, and to be present, right, in the midst of all this chaos. Try to find that sort of inner peace, right? Find that calm, find that, the sort of the lesson out of that, right? Because again, it's about you here. I don't know why I keep getting it's about you. It's about you. But by you doing this, you're going to be able to handle whatever comes at you better. The next card, number 7, is to the sea. Now this card kind of reminds me of the maybe the 6 of Swords card, only because of the image on the card. But it's a card that has to do with, again, being in flow, returning to source, right? And we have the higher power card here. And kind of feeling as though you really are in the flow of life when things seem out of control. It's you kind of flowing through these different events and different conditions in a way that almost seems effort. You see how it looks almost effortless, right? The sea looks very calm. She's just sort of sailing along. She almost looks asleep. So it's about trusting, right? Trusting in yourself, trusting in the universe as you move through this, and just know that you're flowing just sort of like a river into the sea of life. You're flowing along here. So if this is a relationship, and if it's a relationship that you've had, you've been experiencing some type of conflict, or it's been quite difficult for you, then this card says, okay, well, you have a choice here, right? Either you decide to go with the flow, right, and sort of continue on in that relationship, continue dealing with the chaos and conflict of that relationship or whatever, of the other person, or you can change course, right, and dictate the course that you share with somebody else. So this might be you needing to change a way of thinking, or change a way of acting. So it's not just, are you going to stay with the person or leave? No, it's more about, are you going to allow things to flow along, to move along in the same way that they have been, or are you going to, change something in order to, to make whatever the situation is, change how you react to it, right? Don't just go along with everything like you usually do. So this, you might, in order to do this, in order to make this change, again, it might be necessary for you to sort of align your goals and with your higher consciousness. So again, call on, your spirit, call on your guides. Really try to work on yourself here. I get, there's a definite message of needing to focus on yourself as you work through this over the next 2 weeks. And then the last card is the Observer, number 49. And this card, interesting because it does have the, again, the moon. So you have looks like a fox is very focused on the moon on the card. And it's all about perspective, right? And you know how sometimes when you see something, it might look, very tiny. And then when you obviously from a different vantage point, it looks huge. So it's that type of thing. It's how you perceive something, right? It's having this sort of neutral kind of outlook, or observing something with neutrality from a distance, right? And this isn't always easy because usually, we are human, so we tend to view the world through our own personal lens, right? Our experiences, our everything that we have gone through in life, that's all contributed to how we see the world, right? How we react to different things. And obviously, when you bring people together, thinking about friendships, relationships, there are going to be a difference in opinion, right? So differing opinions here. So when you're dealing with somebody else, it's important to sort of understand that just because you see things from a certain vantage point in a certain way doesn't mean that that's the only way, or that's really the right way. There are many different ways of, and many different perspectives. So in dealing or in trying to ease whatever this chaos and conflict is, it's important to, to sort of see things from somebody else's point of view. It's also important to really listen to the other person, listen to them, be compassionate, right? Speak with compassion, and also, sort of self-speak, right? Also, don't be too hard on yourself. I mean, sometimes when we come up against these types of situations, these conflicting opinions. I mean, sometimes after the fact, if we do have a disagreement with somebody, it's very easy for us to be like, oh, I should have just done whatever. I should have said whatever. Don't be hard on yourself. I mean, we're only humans here, right? Call on your higher self. Ask for this, guidance. Seek that out. Try to see things from the other person's point of view, but also, don't be too hard on yourself. So it's, you might need to sort of take time for yourself, think about the words before you actually say them, because more than likely, if the other person has said something to hurt your feelings, they're probably not aware of it either, because they're seeing things from their point of view, from their vantage point. So, again, you can only work on you. So there is a definite message here for, working on yourself, unlocking certain messages, or unlocking, it could be a way of thinking, but definitely working on yourself in order to work, and have this relationship with somebody else, however that might play out in your life. Now, I did pick 2 cards to go along with the, the love and romance relationship portion of the reading. So the first card is from the Whispers of Love deck, and it's called Romance. And this card says, I'll just read this from the book. It says, quality time is what is needed now. Whether you are in a relationship or between relationships, do something special that brings romance back into your life. If you are single, it is important that you do something for you. And see, that's kind of the message that I keep getting here. Let me hold this up for you. Can't reach over there, I'm sorry. Here we go. Let me hold up the card. And so the card itself says, lavish the one that you love with your personal attention and affection. So, if you're in a relationship, then obviously this card is asking you to do things, do things to show your affection for the other person, right? Be careful with your words, right? Be careful with the way that, if there is some type of conflict, be careful with that, because words do hurt. So, but it's also about working on you, right? And again, going back to this message, it's you being at peace with yourself, and you working on yourself in order to have this relationship, this good relationship with the other person. And the other card that is from the Romance Angels Oracle card deck by Doreen Virtue is This Could Be the One. And it says, you've already met the romantic partner you seek. And let me read you what this one says. So the guidebook says, this card signals that you've already met the person you romantically seek. Perhaps you're already in a relationship with him or her. The romance angels sent you this card because it seems you're not recognizing or enjoying the full potential of this person and relationship. Sometimes you may overlook someone who's meant for you because you have a different idea of what your partner should look like or act like. Take a moment to consider who this might be. The first person to come to mind is probably the one. Next, invite the romance angels into your dreams as you're going to bed. Ask them to give you very clear information about your romantic partner, either in your present relationship or a future one. During sleep, you're more open to angelic guidance. When you're awakened, you may not remember your dreams, but you will have a clearer sense of romance and partnership. Take any action you feel called to based on your inner guidance, even if it seems unrelated to your love life. Trust that the angels are leading you toward the one you desire. So, I think that these two cards right here really go along with this last card because, again, it's listening to your angels. And we see here, this is a beautiful angel, right? It's this higher power, beautiful wings here. And then it's you sort of observing things. And again, that way that, just like it was saying here about, going back to try to find a place here, about having a different idea, right? You might overlook somebody, or you might have this idea, but, things don't always work out the way that we might think, right? We might have this perfect partner in our mind, and, this person needs to be like this, this, and this. And then somebody appears who could really be the one for us, right? And that person is completely different than what we imagined. But it's all about perspective, right? It's all about being open, changing our perspective, and also, working on ourselves, right? Being in the position that we need to be in order to be open to this new relationship that is there. So this could be somebody. So if this is the person that you're with, then, I think that it shows that even if there might have been you might not be seeing eye to eye on certain things, with you sort of working on your side more, this one could definitely be the one. And if you're not in a relationship right now, then like the guidebook was saying, it could just be you needing to put out, in your dreams, put out your intentions, and then be open. If somebody comes along who isn't your typical type, don't just, immediately say, I don't like somebody who's, looks like that or has that profession, or, be open, change your perspective here, I think. So a lot of working on yourself going on, it seems like, in this romance and relationship portion of the reading. Okay, Aquarius, well, I do hope that the messages have helped you in some way, and thank you for joining me. I look forward to reading for you again. Please do be looking out for the 2018 overviews. I'm very excited about those. So those will be coming out very shortly. And just know that I'm wishing you a wonderful last 2 weeks of this month and this year. And I'm sending you much peace, love, and light. Bye.